You're currently running a high-tech, 21st century career on prehistoric biological hardware. The human brain is an incredibly powerful machine, but it hasn't received a major evolutionary update in roughly 70,000 years. The cognitive tools we use to navigate infinite inboxes and global supply chains were originally designed for a very different environment. Look at this passage from our historical record. For 2.5 million years, early humans were essentially insignificant middle management in the food chain. We spent our days gathering plants, scavenging leftovers, and living in constant fear of apex predators. We had no more impact on our environment than a firefly. Those millions of years of prey mentality are still hardwired into your nervous system. But we can adapt those ancient survival instincts into a 4-step framework for modern productivity. Professional survival today does not require suppressing your ancient biology. It requires understanding its hidden mechanisms so you can explicitly hack them. Step 1 is recognizing the cost of your biology. Modern humans, or Homo Sapiens, possess exceptionally large brains, averaging 1,200 to 1,400 cubic centimeters. This battery meter reveals a massive biological imbalance. The brain accounts for 2 to 3% of body weight, but consumes 25% of resting energy. Consequently, your capacity for deep focus depletes rapidly. Multitasking drains that reserve even faster. The solution is evolutionary time blocking. You must schedule your most highly complex, analytical tasks for the first 90 minutes of your workday, when your biological battery is at its peak. Multitasking represents a continuous evolutionary energy leak, creating a direct path to premature afternoon burnout. This animated pyramid illustrates how quickly things changed. Other top predators evolved dominance over millions of years, allowing ecosystems to adjust. Humans jumped from the middle to the top almost overnight. As this text details, that overnight leap left us unprepared. Having so recently been the underdogs of the savannah, we are full of deep-seated fears, acting more like anxious Banana Republic dictators. That historical paranoia translates directly into the modern workplace. It is the biological root of imposter syndrome, and it drives the defensive, micromanaging behaviors that occur when we feel our status is threatened. Step 2 requires disarming this response. When a tight deadline triggers panic, implement a 60-second savanna grounding exercise, simply inhaling for 4 seconds, holding for 4, and exhaling for 4. Conscious breathing acts as a manual override. It explicitly signals your amygdala, the small, almond-shaped cluster of nuclei in the brain that processes fear and threat detection, that a missed email is not a prowling lion. Step 3 leverages our physical limitations. As early sapiens adapted to walking upright on 2 legs, the skeletal structure shifted, drastically narrowing the pelvic birth canal over thousands of years. The direct evolutionary consequence is that human babies are born essentially premature. They enter the world completely helpless, with vital systems still underdeveloped. This timeline compares a foal, trotting shortly after birth, to a human infant. Because humans require years of protection, survival strictly demanded a cooperative tribe. This ancient group dependency established the biological framework we use to navigate modern office hierarchies. To cultivate your tribe, you must build psychological safety, delegate cross-functional tasks to your peers, and actively reject the impulse to be a lone wolf. Attempting to tackle complex projects entirely on your own works directly against 2 million years of evolutionary programming designed specifically for collective problem-solving. Step 4 relies on the most vital tool in our history. The domestication of fire, and specifically the advent of cooking, outsourced the heavy biological work of digesting food. This freed up massive amounts of calories, allowing our oversized brains to grow. Looking at this text, we see the real advantage. Fire gave humans a potentially limitless force. Its power was decoupled from the physical strength and limitations of the human body. You need to identify the raw food currently sitting in your workflow. These are the tedious, repetitive administrative tasks that consume your daily cognitive budget and force you to manually chew through data. You must cook this workload by applying modern fires, software automation tools, artificial intelligence platforms, and strategic delegation. By pointing these tools at your inbox and datasets, you strip out the friction. The raw material is pre-processed before it reaches your desk. By outsourcing the digestion of your daily busywork to external tools, you immediately reclaim your brain's massive cognitive capacity for high-level strategy and deep analytical thinking. The ancestral operating system relies on 4 precise steps: budgeting your brain's energy, contextualizing your biological stress responses, leaning heavily into modern automation. Navigating the modern corporate landscape effectively requires identifying your evolutionary baggage and actively leveraging its mechanisms. Look at tomorrow's calendar right now. Find one highly demanding analytical task and time block it for your first 90 minutes. Then find one tedious administrative task and set up a rule or tool to automate it. You have a 2.5 million-year-old machine sitting inside your skull. Learning how to operate it is your ultimate competitive